What's going on, guys? JPA Trades here. We're going to be going over some of the trades we took last week with our Tesla and Nvidia calls. Also going over just like some generically what we're looking for in the market next week. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to be awesome, you can become a channel member and get a little cool icon by your name. But let's get into it. We're here to talk about the trades. We'll just kind of go as they go, up and down, back and forth. You know how it is. So what worked really well was these Tesla autos I shared with you guys. And what I've been doing on Fridays lately is putting out like a hey, here's my game plan for what I'm looking at because things are so volatile during zero DTEs that it's just like, hey, here's a good zone, try to get filled, and then you kind of have to do a little bit of prep work on yourself so that you're ready when it happens. So here's just kind of the aftermath of the chart we posted. We'll pull up the chart we posted here. So kind of said like the 420 meme zone. As funny as it might be, everyone in the world wanted to get in on Tesla and have that like nice 420 fill in their brokerage account. So I just kind of made that post mention up here like, hey, zero DTE calls look interesting. Fire shoot up yesterday at 420, which yesterday was like Thursday, which is what we wanted to see. So hey, if that happens again, could be a good springboard back up to kind of this downward trend line. It's pretty sharp, so I didn't really expect it to get too far through like the one day where it really flew through. So I said, hey, best bet you're probably your 430 calls. So kind of same thing. We get to that day here, which make sure we're on the dates right, the 20th. So you get that nice little knife down blink right in the zone in the morning. You had a chance to get at 420, could have got lower, and then kind of revisited back up all the way into support. Went all the way to like 447, I believe, afterwards. So it ended up working out really, really nicely, and just kind of to just clear all this out and give you guys a fresh idea of what I'm looking for here. So first off, always like when these long wicks down happen, kind of just accentuates like, hey, there's people showing up. So basically, all of these points matter. We didn't know these ones because they're in the future, but like the 420 mattered. And same thing, there's a little bit of a just hey, there's a couple down days, and Teslas are always rare, so you always like to see where the selling kind of stops. So just kind of connected over the side there. So like 415. And I mean, you could take it up, you could take it lower. I wouldn't really want to make a zone like all the way from 426 to 415 on you guys. Because, like, for a 0 day option, like, yeah, they technically would have worked. But, like, you would have had a pretty big drawdown if you bought in 427, wrote it all the way down to, like, 4. What'd that go to? Like, 2418, like you probably would have been shaking a little bit. So that's why I kind of stopped it at like 420. I don't necessarily want these zones to be massive. I want it to be kind of a realistic searching point, but at the same point, you don't want to say like, okay, my bottom is 420, and if it goes under 420, I'm cooked. It's like, no, there was a little bit of action going on over here where the selling kind of stopped and the buying started up again. So pretty nice little $5 window to get in. And with how volatile Tesla is, always a good look there. And then just kind of did the took this high and just kind of connected these candles down. Didn't need to be perfect, like I said. That's why I do like this range of downtrend. So I don't even remember. So 920, we were going in 919. So something about like that. And that's kind of how I came to the conclusion of like 440 ish for our bounce target. And the same thing. That's basically where I sold out on everything. So with this one, it was kind of a duel between like a psychological, here's what might happen, but at the same time, like here's where this wick was the day before. People showed up and bought it up like another $15. So if it did it again, it's pretty likely to go. So that's just like some quick insights on the Tesla trade. The Nvidia trade, I'm going to show us the swing we did because Nvidia's the chart's basically the same style as Tesla. We're looking for this was the zone, but like the Nvidia, I posted two charts during the week. This is like the one day where hey the 130s tried to hold, but I'm just going to show you like the broader sense of Nvidia of what we were looking for. So that's the first one. Going through all these fun posts. So, all right, that's the tank on NVIDIA, but we're just going to go all the way back to the beginning before We even entered the trade. So there's the return to the. This is YouTube. The return of the regard. Don't wanna get in trouble here. So here's kind of where I was talking about those revisiting of wicks for Nvidia since basically October. Like, hey, every time it gets in this zone, same thing, about a $3 zone, it tends to get that wick, spike back up, get that wick, spike back up, get that wick. Wonder what happens at the end of the week. And if you were following us all along on Twitter, we all know what happens at the end of the week, but never quite made it to that 140. But up to the 135, it was pretty good. So we're just going to go ahead and just recreate this chart and kind of talk about what we were looking for. Like, here's kind of me just scribbling some of my own notes, but we'll do it live. Remove everything, clear it out, take it back to the daily, and just kind of look at where things happened. So, very similar story as before. All right, here's our wick down, and okay, here's the other one down, and we see the revisits kind of in that same zone. We were playing a higher zone. There's a whole nother, so I was kind of drawing the multiple zones. Here's another interesting area where these three daily candles made it down to. So it's like it could be likely to hit some resistance until it gets back through. And then once it gets back through, you can start looking at, okay, here's another support I can go to. But we're not going to look at that for now. We're just going to look at, hey, here's the bottom, alleged bottom, hopefully at about 127, 126.8, probably, like I said, 128. Big wicks up and down on the daily candles, and kind of what's the trend we're trying to break. We're still in this downtrend, and there's two ways you can look at it, which I always look at it. You never want it to be a super sharp angle, right? But at the same time, you want to line up as much as possible. So, draw lines here. So you can basically say like, hey, 137, break above, it starts to get interesting again. You could do it sharper, but like this candle, this high wick up matters. Like I wouldn't just take it away and then slide it down like that and say, oh, we're gonna break it any day now. Which if I was doing 0 days, I would use kind of this wedge as where I'd want to see it like break over on the 0 day. But like you're still gonna have that broader sense of where it's going. So I'm just gonna keep that big candle because I'm mostly caring about like what support I'm looking for and how long this pattern can really play out because I could see it just kind of chopping down more and more and more into the new year. But hopefully Santa Claus comes and saves us. So I'm going to post like the detailed version of this chart on Twitter, but I'm just going to kind of give you guys my insights and thoughts on it now, which is same story as last week. I really want to see these lows hold for Nvidia. And same thing, like I don't want to go too far backwards. I just want to look at where we're at. Like if I have to go all the way down to 115, maybe. But like I do feel like yesterday's bottom at the open was a pretty good bottom, and I kind of made a note of that too on Twitter. I know I post a lot of memes, but I also post a lot of you know undercover smart guy stuff. Not really the smartest smart guy, but every now and then throw a few smart guy plays out there. So hey, just assuming market holds up, I would keep notes of all the lows your favorite stocks made. So same thing, that wick matters. So we'll draw this out the whole way nice, and I'll post something similar on Twitter, and you guys who watch the video will be ahead of the game. So and same thing. If these are useful or not useful, feel free to say in the comments, and I can kind of tailor it to you guys to make it as informative as you need it, or less informative, or however it goes. All right, so we're gonna call this range right here. Is that 128.74? Oh yeah, on the money. So this is the get a little text. Call it the buy calls here. Bam. That's what we want to see. We want to see some calls in here. We can fix the sizing. We can do better. We can do better. Bam. Oh, beautiful. All right, so we're gonna be looking to get calls this week, somewhere between 127, 129. Basically, what we're going for. We want to see the breakout Let's see, Christmas Day, like 137. So 137, and this thing goes. We'll always make it happy. We'll make it just a little straight up arrow to the moon as it gets sent free. Turn these percentages off. There we go. So just want to break this downtrend. So same way we went down for basically since November. Geez, we could hopefully have up through halfway of January, kind of tee it up to get towards that 140, 150 price again, which totally think is doable as long as these zones hold up. One thing I will say, I don't necessarily love how, like, in my opinion, it would have been better to see like 132 hold, but like we had to revisit this. But like even 130, like these kind of extra new lows getting put in aren't great. But I mean, Friday was a good day to kind of hopefully put some bottoms in. So it's kind of a give and a take. You want it to bottom, you want to keep getting good price. That's all I say. I just do weeklies and maybe sometime into the second week because generically it's very hard to predict what stocks are going to do, but it is not as difficult to say someone smarter than me bought a ton of shares on this wick. I will go and risk some of my money with their billions of dollars, and then you can at least know that hey, someone's losing way more than me, and at least I'm having a pretty educated guess on why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because like I said, people bought here, looked great, they might have sold, but now it's down to here. So it's one of those where just kind of always observe, always kind of recognize what's going on, and hopefully it can help make you guys some money. So with that, hope you enjoy this video, and we'll see you out there.